Welcome to the shortwave radio channel, and I've received this little Chinese QRM Eliminator. So this is something that exists in different formats. There's MFJ that has one, and there's quite a few commercial grade ones available out there. I chose this one because it was not expensive and wanted to see if it works or not. So what does this actually do? Now I've unplugged it because I've been trying it for the last couple of hours. We'll have more about it and I'll show demonstrations of it. So this basically works in a very specific way. For example, at the back of the device, 3 connectors. What's that? Your main antenna that you use is going to be connected here. The auxiliary here is a second antenna, and it needs to be rather short and as close as possible to the antenna you're trying to remove noise from. And of course this goes to the transceiver or the receiver that you have. And what happens is that this device will check the amount of noise on the auxiliary antenna and we'll try to phase it out from the main antenna that should technically have the same noise level. And then the output goes to the receiver here. The way it works is that in the front you've got the gain for the main antenna, the gain for the auxiliary antenna, and you've got a phase shift to kind of null out noise. Now I've used the test that I did this morning. I've used the discount with my MLA30 loop, and so I have had some form of success, but not as much as I thought, and not in the higher frequencies. And there's a very simple explanation that I will need to actually reinstall it in a different way. Is that it is mentioned that if the auxiliary antenna, the one that gets noise, also receives the broadcasts, it's not good because it's going to also null the broadcast. What it tries to do is null what it receives, which is noise. What you want is noise. So you keep the antenna short so that it does not, or at least barely receives the signal you want to hear compared to the main antenna. But you want to make sure that it receives the noise that your main antenna is getting. And then you play with the gain, and once you've played with the gain, you've been able to phase out in some manner the noise. It's a process of trial and error with this thing. So it's going to be testing with different antennas, different noise sort of levels, and see how I'm going to work it out. And of course, once it's set up to seem to be working at its best, I'll show you how it works. One thing for sure is that by testing with discount versus my MLA30, I did see in the lower frequencies, I actually do have a better signal. I do have some noise that's being eliminated from the antenna. Not a lot, but I guess that in some conditions it might be enough to make a difference between understanding what the station's all about or not really knowing what it is. In the higher frequencies it didn't work at all, but I kind of understand why. On, for example, 25 megahertz WWV was there. It didn't really do anything, and there's a simple reason for that, is that WWV was almost as strong on the discount as on the MLA30. And you don't want that. You want the auxiliary antenna that gets the noise to not receive, or receive as little of the station as possible for this device to work. So anyways, tests are coming up, and of course I'll show a little bit of demonstration of how it phases out the noise. I'll have a verdict if it's useless, or if it's good, or if it's somewhere in the middle. This is the Chinese made one that is available on Amazon and eBay. It's going to be also to check out, is the quality of this thing good enough to, it feels quality. It's quite heavy actually for a small device like this. The buttons feel quality. It does feel like it's well done. So we're going to see if that actually works well. So the QRM Eliminator, and videos coming up soon.